Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Have you ever experienced some physiological symptoms that you just could not make sense of? Let's say, for example, you're nervous about an upcoming presentation and you can't help but, sweat profusely, or, your hands are all wet because of sweat. Yes, these are very natural sensations that our body experiences when we are experiencing anxiety. And today, we will be familiarizing ourselves with 5 different things about anxiety that were previously unknown to us. Alright, so let's begin. Number 1, we have an inbuilt crisis management system in place. Yes, our brain has a system known as autonomous nervous system whose exclusive purpose is to manage stress or threat for that matter. So whenever our brain detects some sort of a threat in the environment, it has 2 different functions. One side of it follows, all the instructions that our brain gives the body in order to be able to manage the crisis. Whereas the second part functions more in terms of helping our body restore and reverse all the previous instructions, assuming that the crisis has passed. Number 2, we have what is known as fight and flight response. Whenever we come to know that there is some sort of a threat in our environment, our body reacts in 2 different ways, namely known as fight or flight response. Fight, which means that we would confront the situation, we would sort of fight and defend ourselves with all our might, versus flight, wherein we use all the resources of our body in order to help us escape that situation. And this plays a big role in helping us deal with our crisis. Number 3, our brain gives out certain instructions to us to create all of these anxiety symptoms. And I would like to explain how. Well, our brain was formed back in the evolutionary period, and therefore some of the symptoms that we display when we are anxious are very much in line with how our brain was formed. So in the evolutionary period, a Stone Age man's understanding or sense of threat was mostly from a predator animal. So let's assume that there's some sort of a predator animal in front of us. Our body would have to react in ways that will help us protect ourselves, which would mean that we would have to fight with all the muscle strength that we have. We might have to, sort of run away and put a lot of distance between us and the animal so that we can, ensure that we survive somehow. We might have to maybe, let's say, climb a tree. We might have to, run in very close spaces. We would also need our senses to be very sharp so that we do not miss any cue of where exactly this animal is. So these are the things that we evolutionarily would require to be able to survive this threat. Number 4, our brain is operating on primitive technology, and this is why. 1, in order to protect myself from a animal, I need my airways to be relaxed and not constricted so that I can breathe. My heart rate will go up because where I should have enough supply of oxygen that will help me survive through this situation. I need my pupils to be dilated so that I should not miss out on any visual cues. Similarly, there are some other symptoms that do not make sense to us. One being sweating. Well, the thing is that when I'm trying to run away or when I'm fighting with all my vigor, my body really heats up. When I sweat, my body is able to regulate its temperature and cool the system down. Using this example, we've understood that there are some very specific instructions that our brain is giving us. Similarly, my brain will also feel that I do not need to digest my food because it considers digestion to be not very important in a crisis situation. So what it does is it puts a sudden stop to all digestive processes. which leads to I will suddenly develop acid refluxes or indigestion. So yes, these are all the different ways in which our brain is functioning in a manner that does not make sense in the 21st century. But if we would have been in the presence of an animal that would have been, that would have attacked us, then maybe all these symptoms make complete sense. So yes, this is what happens, that we are dealing with our anxiety using system that is kind of outdated and is not equipped to deal with the crisis of the 21st century. And therefore, when we get stressed, our body is not able to keep up with our current needs. That is, I don't need to sweat when I'm giving a presentation, but my body cannot distinguish between the two. And that is why I have all these physiological responses that I cannot make sense of. Now, there's an important number 5, which is that we can somehow manage to reverse these symptoms. I'll tell you how. Just like our body has this one system which is exclusively to sort of deal with crisis, we also have a parallel system in place which helps the body restore whatever changes that were brought out when we were stressed. And if you want to sort of trigger this, one of the quick ways that you can do is by simply take deep breath. Because when you start taking deep breath, somehow your brain is able to detect that maybe the crisis is over. So now let's resume to normal functioning. And our body will be able to again quickly adapt itself and come back to the normalcy. So yes, that was a quick tip for today. I hope this has been helpful in helping you understand what anxiety truly is. Now, I know that we've spent this video to only understand anxiety, but if you're looking for ways to sort of maneuver through this, then comment below and we can have another video just to discuss what are the ways to sort of deal with these symptoms when they get triggered. Alright, that's all for today. Thank you everyone. Do like, share and subscribe to my channel.